Okay, we are here on a very, very hot, muggy Thursday. We just had an awesome bus fire evacuation thing because of the state. It was awesome. If you hadn't done so yet, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. I'm teaching. Remember, for those people that said what they could do better is they could talk less. Okay. Now, here's also the great thing. We've had 2 units. Okay. A lot of it's review stuff, but if you didn't grasp it then, you probably had issues now. This stuff is a little bit easier. Okay. This actually has more vocab, so your orange sheets can be a lot better. Okay. Oh, also, I shouldn't say this yet. I'll tell y'all later. I'll tell y'all tomorrow. I'll tell you now. Okay. You had 17 questions on your test yesterday. 16 of them came from your notes. They were legitimately from the notes. I went from the handouts in the notes, copied and pasted, and put them in there. Yeah, number 1 was the only one that wasn't in the notes. The last question, if you look at your notes from last Friday, that is an example that we did in class. That is a problem we did. Well, okay, so relations. All right, here's what's funny. A relation is a group of coordinate points. Okay? A function is a group of coordinate points that don't repeat. Now, in the past, people have said, oh, is that why when somebody has, like, they're dating somebody and then they have somebody on the side, the relationship doesn't function? And I said, yes. Shh. So that, what? Oh, now I have people's attention. Okay. Okay, so let's say, Bob and Cheryl are in a relationship. Everybody knows and stuff. But Bob also goes and, hangs out with, Debbie. Okay. That relationship is not going to function. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's a relation. Just a whole bunch of coordinate points together. Remember, these are the ones in front. This is, they go X, Y. Okay. So X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. Now, this is a function. And this is why. If you look closely, these X values right here, none of them repeat in that spot. Okay. Now, somebody said, but on the last one, it's 5 and 5. That's not an X value. That's an X value and a Y value. They both happen to be 5. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to explain the rules better. And if you're not here to take the notes and watch the videos, sucks. All right. Are you okay? Are you laughing at me? Okay. Because I'm throwing shade like an eclipse right now. All right. So only the smart people get that one. All right, let's look at number 1. Determine if the following are relations or functions. So this has a 5, a -3, a 0, and a 2. Does any of these repeat? No. So it's a function. Okay? It's a function. Now, again, remember, when math doesn't make sense, we blame it on drugs, okay? Because what they used for their Tylenol was like, you know, heroin. Okay? All right. Let's look at number 2. All right. This 1 goes to this 3 and this 4. So if we were to actually write this, and I have students that they'll go like 1, 3, 1, 4. Like, they have to write them out. They don't like this mapping thing. Okay, which is fine. We see that this 1 actually repeats. This is not a function. And or if you want to do, remember there's a big movement. There's lanyards, there's bracelets, there's t-shirts, there's WWJD. What would Jeffries do? If I was doing this, I would say yes. And this one I would say no. Because yes, this one is a function. No, this is not a function. Okay. That's just how I would operate. All right. Let's look right here. -4, 2, 3, -6. These two repeat. This is no, this is not a function. Okay. Probably questions like this on the test would see like, is this a function? Yes or no? Okay. And you would fill it in, check it off or whatever. And some people, that was on that one problem, or is this a solution? That one had me in stitches yesterday. I had so many people. Listen, there's a handful of you that you just got in this mode of solving stuff, and y'all solved both those. I had people say like x is less than or equal to 7. I'm like, that's not what you do. It was funny. Some of y'all were stressing out about that test. Like I could sense it. Okay. Yes, as about 6 people look at me like my ex-wife does. But that's, all right. To determine if a relation is a function, you can use, and I'm going to type this out because we know my handwriting's bad. Vertical line test. Okay. Your vertical line test. All right. Basically is this. Let's say what it is. How about you? Y'all want to? Sure. Okay. This is what happens when you wait till you're a senior in high school to take typing. All right. So when you draw one vertical line, it can only touch the graph once. I think me and you are going to have to like have a little tea party later, and you're going to have to spill it. All right. So I'm sorry, Emma looks you right in the eyes, and I'm sorry. Listen, some of y'all are all going down together. It's going to be like we're going to have to get a boat for that tea party. It's going to be like Boston. All right. So this is all right. So here's the deal. This is why the vertical line test. A vertical line, y'all know how regular, graphs is like y equals something, x or whatever. A vertical line is x equals a number. Okay, that means everywhere that it's vertical, it's just all those x values. Okay, that means that those x values repeat. Okay. Wow. Yeah. What? I do have lotion. It went right on your desk. That was the perfect hand grenade lob, and you sit there and watched it. That's your fault. Okay. Don't y'all wish y'all had a real teacher? All right. Y'all say no. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. All right. Huh? Well, I do share it with most people. All right. So, yeah. Here's my vertical line right here. I draw it. Now, for the grids, it's really easy. Okay? You don't even have to draw it. Let's take a closer look. Come on, fat fingers, work for me. Okay. Okay. If we actually look down these little vertical lines, and I cannot follow the line. That's how bad it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. We drew that one vertical line. It touched that graph once. Now this relation is just a whole bunch of dots. Okay. It's like a scatter plot. Basically, it looks like one of y'all sneezed on paper. Okay. I have to keep drawing one to make sure I get all through the graph. Okay. Look, it touches one, two times. No, not a function. Because each time I draw one vertical line, this is a rule. And for those that need it, one time you draw one vertical line, it can only touch the graph once. Okay. All right. It's not a function. Huh? I needed to emphasize it. Also, some people said I don't emphasize something that's important enough. Yeah. So I'm trying to make. All right. Now, so thank you. So now I could have kept going and said, okay, it fails there too. But here's the deal. This is one of these things for y'all and y'all's generation who thinks if you are not perfect on the first time, that it's trash, you're trash, your whole life is trash. This is for you because all it takes is one negative incident and the whole thing fails the test. Okay. It's kind of like when some of y'all take that test where you got to like put some of your urine in the cup. All it takes is one thing and you fail. Okay. So some of y'all say, I feel attacked. Okay. So if you follow these vertical lines, notice each time I draw it, it's only touching that graph once. And I do it all the way through. Well, yeah, somebody says you can take your finger. All right. For those that don't know, if Mr. Jeffries took his finger, I would say every graph is not a function because this bratwurst looking appendage I have right here is going to block out half of the graph. This one. Yes, many of us has fallen victim to the thick fingerness. Okay. You think it's funny when you flip people off? Wait, do you have like a Vienna sausage? Like, oh, you have baby hands. Oh, that's awesome. Shh. Okay, does anybody need more time here? I know everybody's like, wow, this is super simple. Yes, this unit is a lot easier than the last two. Hey, this is where a lot of people like can redeem their grade from out of the basement. You're welcome. Let me hold $1. Okay, now, domain. Y'all have heard this before, and it's been probably a hot minute because who went to math camp this summer? Snacks. Oh, oh my gosh, Snacks actually did go to camp. Okay, so now this says domain is all the x values of a function. The range is all the y values. Now, there's also input and output. We'll get to that later when we talk about function notation, because basically, when we do function notation, that is the very first computer program ever written. Okay, and I'll get to that on another day. It's great. If you're watching, come back. If you hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell, you'll be in the loop. Now, all right, let's look on this right here. This 0 goes to this number and this number. Okay, because this is our x values. That means that we have a 0, -2, and a 0, 1. That's not a 10, that's a 0. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there we go. That's more better. Now, this is not a function. Now, I will never give you more than like 3 coordinate points in a relation to do this with, because that's just too much work. Again, if I was a student in algebra or math or anything, and somebody gave me this problem for number 3 and they asked for me to label the domain and range, I'm going to do that with this particular one because I don't want to take the time to rewrite all those points. Okay? I don't. And I would not want y'all to. Okay? Love you. Mean it. Trying to figure it out. Domain is the x values. This is for all problems that exist in problemality, in the world of problems. Yeah, in the town of Problemville. Yeah. Believe it or not, I had a algebra 2 student that emailed me a couple weeks ago that said, "You're going to hate me, but I forgot how to tell if something's a function or not." And they're in pre-cal right now. They're taking an online pre-cal class. And I told them, and I said, it's where the x values repeat or it fails the vertical line test. They're like, I knew that's why you were my favorite. And then I hadn't heard from them again. Kind of like most people that try to talk to me in high school. They used me for math and then left me alone. Now, all right. This, we don't have a chart or anything. All right. Now, we've actually got to find these points. Now, FYI, BT dubs, this goes -2, -4. There's actually numbers in between those. What do you think this number is in between 0 and -2? -1. All right. So this point is actually -1, 2. Okay. This one right here, oh, I probably should do another color. That might help. This one right here is 0, 2. All right. This one right here, all right, what's the number between 0 and 2? 1. And then our y value is -3. Okay. All right, this is 2, looks like 2, -2. And then our outlier over here, or as we will affectionately call this person, the Mr. Jeffries of coordinate points, is 8, 3. Now, if you were to do this, first of all, I'm not going to give you, this is 5 points. This is 2 points too many. Okay. Does everybody agree? Yeah. Look, sometimes less is more. Well, except for clothes. You can actually get more done with less stuff. Okay. If I was doing this, how do you think I would label domain and range? What is probably the easiest way to do it? I would actually do a T all the way down and put domain and range. Now, unfortunately, I am the unicorn of math teachers. Okay, I'm very rare. Hmm. And other teachers are going to want you to do this. They're going to want you to write like a D and a colon, and they're going to make you do like these little squiggly braces, and they'll actually want you to list all the points. And then for your range, they'll make you do a R, colon, and squiggly lines. I know some of y'all are like, I can't do the squiggly lines. It doesn't matter. Usually, if I ask you for them on the test, I already print them on there. I made that mistake one time and I didn't do it. And I had a student, they were like, Mr. Jeffries, I'm still stuck on number 4. I'm like, why? I can't do the squiggly lines. Okay. So I print them on there. Okay. On the ACT, stuff like that, you'll see them printed. You're not graded on how you make them. I've had people do this. They're like, and this is how they'll do their braces. And I accept it because we all know Mr. Jeffries is not very good at artsy drawing stuff. Okay. Now, believe it or not, that is our lesson for the day. Surprise, surprise. Are you surprised, Miss Julia? Miss Julia, what do bees and humans have in common? They both get hives. Boy, that's a stinger right there, ain't it? All right. So, as my class in that's in front of me is working on the your turn, don't forget, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the bell, stay farce, and vote for me, Mr. Jeffries, as most okayest teacher. Okay. All right. I don't know what's happening in front of me. It's kind of scary. All right. Good stuff. Good things. Roll Tide.